Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for The Walking Dead Season 6. And what this video is going to be doing is addressing some rumors that I have heard about The Walking Dead Season 6 finale. And that rumor revolves around whether the ending is going to be a major cliffhanger. That's all I'm going to say, so that way I don't spoil anybody about what that might mean. But I'm going to go into detail on what that could be and my reaction to it, how I might feel about it and what it might mean for the show. If you do not want to know anything about what this is, if you don't want to know what the cliffhanger would be about, anything about the upcoming episodes at all, and you do not want to be spoiled in any way, then I would exit the video now, because otherwise you are going to get majorly spoiled. Okay, so if you're a fan of the comic books, and if you've been following along on The Walking Dead, you notice that the group has been running into different members of the Saviors. They've been running into a group that has been, a big threat in not only the TV show, but the comic books. The Saviors are a group of villains that, they go around, they bully people, they take supplies, from them. And if they don't comply, then Negan and his people will punish them. And what Negan has been known to do in the comic books and in the TV show is that he will kill somebody to, set an example, to really let the new groups know just how serious he is about what he wants and what he's willing to do. He's willing to set that example. And one of the things that we heard about in the television show, many times it's been referenced, is that Negan does kill people like this in the television show. At the hilltop, he killed, I think it was a 16-year-old boy to prove his point. When Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha first ran into the Saviors, they said normally, well, we kill one of you just to prove our point, but it's pretty awkward to do that and drive back, with you to, where you're from. So we want to avoid that if we can. And then Dwight, in episode 14 last week, told Daryl and Rosita that normally they do that as well, and that they intended to do that. Well, obviously, in the comic books, Negan does do this. After several different confrontations with Rick's group, Negan finally makes an appearance. And he ends up killing somebody in Rick's group with his baseball bat, Lucille. It's a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it. And sadly, the person that ended up being killed was Glenn. And many of us have been anticipating that the Season 6 finale, called Last Day on Earth, is going to involve a scene like this. But one thing I have heard is that we're not going to know who it's going to be. I've heard that the Season 6 finale may end in a cliffhanger, where Negan does choose somebody to be the victim, to be the person that he is going to kill to prove his point, and that he does so, but we only see this through the perspective of the person that is being killed. So it's almost in a sense, when you're looking through the eyes of someone else in a movie, perhaps, that's what it would be like. And they would basically angle the camera so that you would see and everything that Negan is, doing and what the person is seeing, but that we're not going to know who it is that Negan chooses. And, I feel very mixed about that, as many of us probably would. I definitely think that it is a major scene, and I think the way that they play it off is definitely going to have an impact on the episode. But, thinking about that kind of a cliffhanger, is that a good thing for the show or is it not? Well, There's two ways of looking at that. One is that it could be, very frustrating if we didn't know, because, we've been kind of anticipating this moment. Kind of reminds you of the mid-season finale, start to finish, where we didn't get to see the result of, Jesse, Ron, Sam, what was going to happen with them. Many of us know from the comic books that they died. Well, Jesse and Ron died at this point, and we thought the episode was going to maybe end with something like that going on, but they held off until the mid-season premiere. But this is a little bit bigger. This is a big wait. We're talking April until, October probably. And that's a pretty significant wait, to find out exactly who it is that Negan kills. But on the other hand, this cliffhanger could potentially be the boost that Walking Dead needs in order to continue to keep people coming back and watching it. Because if they kill somebody, and most likely we're probably going to see somebody pretty major get killed off, if the season ends with Glenn dying, perhaps, let's say it's Glenn, it may prompt people not to come back, that maybe some people would be so upset that this happened that they wouldn't come back, that they would just say, forget The Walking Dead, they ticked me off, I'm done. And sometimes, you do see that with a show. If there's not enough of a reason to come back, then people sometimes give up on it. It just depends on the audience. It depends on the person. But I think in this particular situation, if The Walking Dead does this, I think that it might even benefit itself later on, because, people would want to come back and see exactly what happened, and then they might want to see it play out. So they may end up coming back. We may find out that it was somebody major like Daryl or Glenn or Michonne, somebody. And instead of us giving up on the show, it might make us continue to watch it and really see exactly how it's going to conclude. Will they end up getting Negan for what he did? Will the Saviors fall? And I think that it might end up prompting people to watch it longer and to keep on, sticking with it. Walking Dead's ratings have overall been very good, but we have noticed that they have been slipping a little bit. The reason for that is hard to say, but I think that ultimately for a storyline, while it would be frustrating for this to happen, because you have to wait for it, I think it might be something that might be worth the wait. And I think a cliffhanger ending might be a good thing to keep the popularity going, keep the speculation going, keep attention on the show. And when it comes back in October, maybe it comes back stronger than ever. And I think the way that it sounds is pretty interesting as well. I've heard the way that they're going to angle the cameras and everything. I think that this is a scene that would really help to illustrate the brutal violence of this scene without getting in trouble with the FCC, So I'm thinking that, the way they have it designed might be a pretty good story as well. But we'll have to wait and see, maybe it won't end like that. It could end with us finding out who gets killed, and then, we go from there. There's maybe something else going on. But when I heard about this rumor, I wanted to address it, and I wanted to give my thoughts on it. And I want to ask you guys as well, how would you feel about a cliffhanger ending? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think that it's something that might be too damaging to the show? Will it frustrate you a lot? Probably a lot of all those feelings are coming together right now. But, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank all of you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if you have any suggestions for future videos that you would like to see, don't be afraid to suggest them. Have a very wonderful evening, and thank you very much for watching.